Hi you guys, welcome to another video. I plan on showing you guys how to create this really piece of fabric that mimics a knit stitch or a knit ribbing, and it's just a really easy half double crochet just worked in the back loops. So just wanted to show you guys how to create this fabric. You can do a lot with it. This I'm actually gonna knit or crochet into a hat. Just make a really long rectangle and connect it, and then do a drawstring at the top. But you can do anything from blankets to pot holders to hats, anything. So let's get started. So for today, you guys need your yarn, and again I'm just going to use a regular acrylic, your crochet hook to go with your yarn. Sorry, let me move all these wires, and tapestry needle so you can sew in your ends, snips, scissors, and I haven't decided if I'm going to use this hook. This is a 5 milliliter. Oh, millimeter. I do that every time. And then this one's a 5.5, but I don't know which will be easier for you to see, so we'll try both. Okay, so after you get your yarn and your needle, we're gonna create a chain. So depending on what you want is how many you're gonna chain. So if you want a scarf with this type of ribbing, you're gonna want to do a really long chain and then just, you know, crochet the width and then connect it at the end if you're gonna do circular scarf. You can do it the other way, but then your ribbing is gonna be going horizontal and not vertical, so it's up to you. But just for this to show you, I'm just gonna do a short piece. So we're gonna chain one. And if you guys want a video on how to do a slip knot, there's tons and tons and tons of them. Excuse me. So chain however many you need to chain for the length of your project. This I'm probably going to turn into an infinity scarf, so I need to chain the length, so probably 150 to 200. But I'm not going to do that right now because that would just take forever. So just chain the length, and that's enough for me to show you. And then we're going to work our foundation chain the exact same way we would any other half double crochet. So we're going to go 2 from the hook, so 1, 2, and insert our hook, grab our yarn, and pull. So yarn over, go into our next stitch, grab our yarn, pull through all 3. Let me get some yarn. Okay, so again, yarn over, going into our next stitch, and I crochet like very close, like I keep my hands very close together, and it just, I don't know, I guess from knitting, and I think it helps me crochet a lot faster. So you might have a hard time seeing sometimes because my hand's sorry. Alright, going into our next stitch, grabbing, pulling through all 3, yarn over, going in, pulling through all 3. And just keep doing that for the length of your project. I mean, this stitch is good for everything from sweaters to blankets to leg warmers to cuffs, and I just think it looks really cool to be able to change it up and to be able to crochet a piece of fabric that looks like knit. Because if you knit, then you know how long it would take to knit a piece of fabric like that. And this is awesome for impatient people. And just crocheting's a lot easier. Okay, so we're getting ready to go into our last stitch, yarn over. Sometimes the last one a little fiddly. I have no idea what kind of music this is. Oh, sorry. Okay. So we're going to go up, chain 2. I chain 2 so that way our edge isn't going to be really tight, be able to stretch it. So just chain 2, turn your work, and you can see here, okay, let me show you. The chain 2 that we just did was to climb up, so we were now on top of this stitch. So now we got to work on top of this one. So we got to move on to the second. That was always confusing for me in crocheting, knowing where to put my first stitch. And my work always ended up looking really crooked. So if you can just remember that when you chained up on the first stitch, you'll be good. So we're going into the second one. And now we're going to be going into the back loop, okay? So here is our stitch. This, okay, normally you would go into both, okay? The V, here's the front loop. So when you see patterns that say front loop only, that's the front loop. Back loop is back here, okay? So we're gonna be taking our needle, yarning over, and then going into the back loop only, okay? Back loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop, grab your yarn, pull through, and pull through all 3. I mean, it's really, really, really easy. And after you get into a rhythm, it's mindless, and I mean, it's actually therapeutic. Plus it creates such an awesome look. It has such an awesome look to it. Okay, so we're gonna go into the back loops only, and we are gonna do this exact same row for the remainder of your project. Depending on, I mean, what it is that you're making. You might have to do some shaping. But if you're just gonna do a blanket or a scarf, you would just keep going in the length that you wanted your project. At the end of the row, just chain 2 and then turn your work and continue on. It's simple. And then always making sure to work that last stitch on this row. That's where a lot of people get messed up, and their project starts to look like a triangle and they don't know why. It's because you're missing your first and your last stitch probably. Okay, so I kind of turn my work towards me like that so I can see my V's, and there's second to last, and there's, see, kind of hides right there. So go into the back loop. Actually, no, ignore me. On your last stitch and your first stitch, you should go in through both. That's what I normally do because it'll give it a cleaner edge. But I mean, you can go through the back loops, but it makes it real bumpy. Chain 2, turn your work, and then continue on. And can you see? This lighting's probably not great. There's our first braid, or our first rib. So you just keep continuing on until you have the length that you want, and eventually your fabric is gonna look like that. I think it looks pretty cool. And it's actually, sorry, it's actually really, really nice stretchy fabric. I mean, you can stretch it and you can shape it into a lot of different projects, so it's a really, really good one to know. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you using this stitch. If you guys make sure to like the video, please, if you liked it, and to subscribe to me. I'm just getting started, but I'll have hopefully plenty of videos for you guys to watch. So thanks for watching. Bye.